Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have 3 stories for you. So let's not waste any time and get started. Our first story comes from Angry Granddad. Am I the beehole for yelling at my daughter for hiding her pregnancy from me? My 20-year-old daughter lives with me, a 47-year-old male. She has a boyfriend, Gary, who's 20 years old, who currently lives with his own parents. She lost her job over COVID and has felt too sad since then to look for a new one. I'm not sure if Gary has ever worked, but he doesn't now. Mostly, he just sits around my house playing Xbox and eating my food. I am not Gary's biggest fan, but my daughter loves him, so I tolerate him, and we've always been polite to him. About a month ago, she went missing for a little over 3 days. While she does go out a fair bit without telling me, this was a lot longer than usual. I rang her mother and messaged Gary and any of her friends I could think of, and no one had seen her. Eventually, Gary responded with a picture of a baby and saying, "Hello to your grandson." She had never told my ex-wife or I that she was pregnant. For context, she's a bigger girl and had put on a couple extra kilos over the last couple of months. While it seems obvious now, in retrospect, at the time it just seemed like normal weight gain. She and Gary brought the baby back to our house sometime the next day while I was at work. When I got home, I asked her why she wouldn't tell me something like this, and she said it's because she wanted Gary to move in with us. And she knew if she asked before the baby was born, I would have said no. And that she and Gary need to get themselves sorted, both get jobs, and find their own place to live before the baby comes. She's probably not wrong. But if she waited until he was born, then I would have to say yes to Gary moving in. Because what kind of monster would keep their grandson from living with their father? I was so mad at her reason for hiding it that I yelled at her, saying it was an incredibly manipulative thing for her to do. And I was too angry at the moment to give her an answer about Gary. I told her I needed time to process and think, and asked her not to talk to me for a little while. She rang her mother in tears. My ex then rang me to ask how could I be so cold, and tell me that I was ruining what should be an exciting and magical time for her and my daughter, Gary and myself. She said I'd look back on this in years and feel terrible that I spent the first days of my firstborn grandchild's life making everyone upset and angry at my daughter and her boyfriend and stalling their plans to live together with the baby. I feel like I'm justified in being angry about them intentionally trying to manipulate me. But everyone around me seems to think I don't have a valid reason for being bothered in the first place, and that I need to get over it, move on, and let them live together. Am I the beehole? You're 1000% not the beehole. They drop this life-changing thing on you and expect you to just get over it and be okay with it. And your ex, okay, she seems to be fine with it. Tell her to take them in. She seems to be cool with it. And do not let Gary move in. Let him come visit his child, of course. But if you let him move in, they're going to know they can get away with this type of stuff and keep pushing and pushing and taking from you. If you let him move in, she's going to be pregnant again. And you're going to have another child on your hands to take care of. And yeah, you need to set boundaries. You need a lot of fire under both of them to get jobs and take care of your child. You're not, why are they trying to paint you as the bad guy? You're not stopping them from being together. They're the ones stopping themselves from being together. They need to get financially secure and move out and get their own place, and then they can live together. Our next story comes from Shot Restaurant 6404. Am I the beehole for telling my future sister-in-law that I will not be going anywhere and she needs to learn to live with it? Edit. To make it really clear, I'm part of the family. I call them mom and dad, and they tell me I'm one of their kids. The sisters refer to me as their sister. Not all families are born. Also, yes, I have talked to Max before. We had a heart-to-heart when I moved in and thought we were good. We've been fine all of this time until this happened. So background, I dated Max in high school for around a year. My family life was awful, and his parents really helped me in that time. After the breakup, they didn't cut me off, even though I knew it would cause some issues with Max. When I was kicked out at age 17, they took me in. Long story short, I see them as my parents and they see me as their kid. I'm close to their daughters and have been going to family events for a few years now. Max is getting married to Cindy. I've met her a few times, and before this, I thought she was fine. Yesterday, I was getting some mac and cheese at the youngest birthday celebration when Cindy came over asking what I'm doing. I told her, getting mac and cheese, and she got angry. She went on a huge tangent about trying to win back Max, and how I'm not a part of the family, and that I should get my own family since I'm not needed anymore. I told her I'm not going anywhere, and that she needs to live with it. I've been a part of this family for 10 years at this point. She ran off after that. I'm getting texts from Max saying that I'm a huge jerk, and I need to apologize. The rest are staying neutral, and the youngest is annoyed at Cindy. So, update 1. I called them and explained my side of the story. They were surprised since they got a different story. I didn't want to lose my family. I asked them to adopt me as an adult if they wish. They said yes. This conversation topic has happened before. I'm also going to reach out to Cindy and Max and explain really clearly that I'm not a threat to their relationship. I'm gonna go with maybe everybody's the beehole on this one, but I'm gonna focus on you. You know how messed up that is? You're dating the kid and then you break up with him, and then the parents are like, yeah, a person that my child had a relationship with, you can come live with us, and come, rub it in his face. And I hope Max and Cindy are happy for each other and he gets his own family. Because they pretty much abandoned him for you, from what it sounds like, and you come off as really smug, like, haha, I took my ex's family. That's really messed up, because I know if one of my parents or my family brought in one of my exes and like, hey, you gotta live with this person you broke up with and you don't want any contact with, I'd be pretty miserable too. So yeah, I know you tried to paint yourself in a good light in the story, but I don't think so. I think you need to leave that boy and his family alone. Our final story comes from OK Living 9943. Am I the beehole for telling my sister-in-law that I won't waste my time with her daughter? I teach painting. Recently, I found out that my niece has an amazing talent in painting, and she also loves it, so I suggested I could teach her. She said that she would love that, but her parents asked them to pay for anything unnecessary from their own pocket money and she can't afford it. I told her that she doesn't have to pay and she agreed to let me teach her. A few days ago, my brother's stepdaughter contacted me and asked if I'll teach her how to paint as well. I asked her to send me some of her paintings and, well, let's just say she's worse than a little kid. The paintings were just bad, but whatever, I could teach anyone with any level. So I told her the price, and she said that she can't afford it, and I told her to ask her parents to pay. A few minutes later, sister-in-law called angry about why her child has to pay while I teach my niece for free. I told her that my niece is an amazing artist and it would be such a waste of talent if no one helped her. So I'm using my free time to teach her, but her daughter simply doesn't have the talent, so I'm not going to waste my time with her. She called me a jerk and hung up the phone. I'm gonna go with you're kind of the beehole, just a little bit. Because I'm an artist too. The little character that you see on the screen right now, I drew him. And you chose to teach your niece for free. And that's just like me giving someone like a free commission or something like that. But that doesn't mean you give everyone something for free. Hell, I don't give family or friends anything for free. They'd love to take advantage of you because people don't see art as a real job or anything like that. I think way I'm giving you the little bit of a beehole is because the way you phrased it, it was kind of mean, because it sounds like she's a little kid. And I believe you can teach anyone art, and yes, there are people who are just naturally good at something. I wasn't. Yeah, so just a little bit. Maybe phrase it better next time, but I agree, you shouldn't have to give everyone, your time for free. Time is very important. Time is worth more than money to me, because, you can't get that back. Alright, everyone, that was the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Can you please like, comment, and subscribe? And tell me in the comments, would you give up your time for free to anyone? Because I know I wouldn't. But let me know in the comments. Velvet out.